Hello all, my name is Abdul Rahman, and in this video I am going to solve the Django error that we have got in the last video of Django web development series. And in that video I got some error like after registering on the website I am not able to get the notification that you are logged in as this such user. So guys, in this video I am going to solve that error, and I am going to do other lot of stuff like user login, user logout. We have done that, but again I'm going to do that like logout and other stuff. Okay, so anyhow guys, let's go ahead and get started. So first of all I'm going to run my server, so it's still running. I'm going to give here python manage.py, and then I'm going to open this one, or I'm going to control click here on this one, like I'm going to control click. Okay, so it has been opened here. Okay, so when I register here, so after entering all of this stuff, I will be redirected to the home page of our website, and then here I should get some message like you are now logged in as such user, something like that. Okay, so I'm not able to get that. So the reason here is that, so in the last video we were getting that error. So first of all I have to copy this whole line, so I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to paste that one here and here. So we have other lot of indentations. Okay, so I'm going to save this one. So now instead of message.success I should get here in info, and then we have this request, and now instead of new account created, here I should get here something like you are now logged in as. Okay, so I should get like you are now logged in as such user, something like that. So now I am going to reload my page here. So I am going to reload here, and then I am going to click on this register button, and then I am going to type here something like Sayed. Okay, and here I am going to type like YouTube. Here also 1 2 3, and then I'm going to type here youtube 1 2 3. So I'm going to click on this register button. Now as you can see here, new account created. So if you didn't saw this one, please make sure pause the video and go back and see that we have got two messages like notifications. Two notifications we have got here. Okay, so guys, I am going to, so as you can see here we are getting this one. So now Sayed, I have this one, so I am going to scan my finger. Okay, so I have saved this password, so I don't want to save this one again. Okay, now after logging on the website, okay, so I should get here something like home, register, login. So instead of this one I should get here home, then log out, and then I should get here some my username. So if you are not able to see this one, home, register, login, you should get here something like my username, this home, then this log out, something like that. So I am going to type here 127, and then site administration. So I am going to type here something like 9 Sayed. Here I am going to type my password, and then in the users, if I click on this users, so here I am getting two users like 9 Sayed and Sayed. So if I click on this one 9 Sayed, I am able to see. So this is showing me because here I have logged in as Sayed, so that's why it was showing me something like that. So now if I click on this, so one more thing I want to do here is if I click on this tutorials, this page should be reloaded here. So for that I am going to open the header. Okay, in the header.html, so instead of this one, here we are getting herf, so I am going to remove and give you a slash, save this one, and I am going to click on this one. Okay, okay, so instead of this one I should get here something. If I see in the views.html, so now I am going to open the main file known as manage.py. Okay, so I don't want this file to be open. Okay, So now I am going to check whether where we can change the, okay, so here I am going to check whether main. So now let's give here main something like main, and sorry, I am going to reload. Click on this one. Okay, I think I should reload my thing, and now not found. I'm getting something like this. So if I give here, what if I give here this one? I'm going to type something. So if I click on this one, our page will be reloaded. Okay guys, so now as I said you, I want something like logout. I want to get all of those options. So for that I am going to make here some more spaces, and here I am going to use something like what we say, this one. Okay, so here I am going to use here the percentage symbols. So I am going to, so I have used here, and now I should give here something like if the user okay, so user dot is authenticated AUNTH. Okay, so if it's AUN authenticated and AICATED. So if the user wait a second. Okay, so as you can see here, if the user is already authenticated, I should get here something like EN and D. Okay, so if the user is authenticated, okay, and then I should get here something like, so I am going to make here, no way, so if it's authenticated I am going to make here this one. I'm going to make it some tab. Okay guys, so if it's authenticated, then instead of this one register, I am going to use, first of all I am going to copy these two lines, copy, and instead of this register I am going to give her ACCOUNT account, and instead of this login I am going to give a LOGOUT logout. So here instead of register I am going to remove this register, and then here I am going to give here here something like this one. Wait, I'm going to remove this one, and I'm going to add this, and in here I'm going to type here user.username, username, something like this. So instead of this login I'm going to give GOUT logout, something like this one. Okay, so now here I'm going to make a thing known as use a thing known as else. So remember if else, so here I am going to use that one. So I am going to make here some spaces, and here I am going to what we say use here the else. Okay, so now here I am going to paste these two things like register, login, and then here I am going to end here the if. So here I am going to use not this one, and I am going to use here the percentage symbols. So here in between of this I am going to use end if. So now as you can see here everything is working fine. Now if I click on this tutorial, so as you can see here, if you are not able to see this one, as you can see here we are getting something like home, 9 Sayed, logout. So we are getting home. So I am getting all of this stuff here because I am already logged in here. So that's why I am getting like home, 9 Sayed, logout. So this is getting because I am already logged in. So that's what the thing that I want to do on this website. So here if I open the VS Code here, so if you see in the, I am going to open the home.html. So if you see in the home.html, where was I? Here it was. Okay, so if you see in the header.html, so now we have all of this stuff here, right? So now as you can see here we have all of this stuff onto our all of these pages, right? So now what I want to do is I want to create separate pages, like for the navbar a separate page, for the messages I need a separate page, and so now I am going to do all of this stuff. Okay, so like what I want to say here is that, so for the messages block of code, I want to create a new file, and I want to create a new file for the nav bars, and then I want to do all of those stuff. So now let's do that one. So for the first of all, here I am going to open this one, and I am going to close all of these files that I don't need right now. So in the templates folder, where was I? So in the, wait a second, okay, so it has been opened. So in the templates I am going to create code here, and in the my site, and in the my site again, not here, in the again main here itself. So in the templates here I am going to create a folder known as something known as what we say include, something like that. Okay, so guys, so first of all, here I am going to create a new folder known as my, here let's create, okay, so now I am going to create a control, here I am going to create this. So if you see here I am created and include includes, something like this. So now I am going to copy and I am going to paste this one. So I have pasted this one, and I am going to rename this one. So I am going to rename. So now instead of home, I am going to give you something like navbar, and instead I am going to copy this again, and I am going to paste this one. So instead of this one, I am going to copy all of this one, and I am going to give here messages, something like this. So now I have created these two things. So if I see here includes, so I have this messages.html, navbar.html. So now I am going to close. So I am going to copy all of this, not copy, I am going to delete this stuff, and here also I am going to delete. So I am going to save this one. So from the messages here I am going to cut this block of code. Okay, so Control X, and I am going to paste this one here, somewhere around here, something like this one. And from the what we say, let's go up, and I am going to control, wait, let's copy this, Control X, and I am going to paste this one, navbar.html. Now I am going to remove all of these stuff here. So we have this much stuff here right now. Now in the navbar.html I am going to save, and I am going to, okay, so now let's check whether is it still working. Okay, so now we are not getting any navbar. What's the reason? Okay, so in the header.html, if you see here, we have to call those things, right? So I am going to go here. Okay, so here I am going to use everything known as includes, what we say. So here I am going to create these flower braces, and in these braces I am going to use this 2 times. So here I am going to give include, okay, and then I am going to use here the main, then slash include I am going to use include. Let's see here. So includes I have given includes, okay, so main slash includes I have given, like, then now I have to give something like navbar, navbar.html, something like this. So now I am going to copy this whole line, copy, and I am going to paste this one. So instead of navbar I am going to remove this navbar and messages. Okay, so now if I reload my page here, are we getting this again? So as you can see here, we are getting this home, 9 here, logout, we are getting all of this stuff. So it's as it is that we have done that one. Okay, so now what I want to do here is, like, so before this video I have created a video known as notifications, on the video of notifications, and before that video I have created a Django video, which was something like, there I have user registration, user login, user log, it was there, but there we have not done for the logout. So now I am going to do a thing for the logout page. Okay, so first of all I am going to open here, wait a second, okay, so I am going to close all of these files here, Okay, and then I'm going to open a file known as views. Okay, so in the views dot this views only, not this one. I think it was urls, so it was here. So in the urls.py here, okay, so in the urls.py here I am going to create a path known as this one. I should give here comma. Okay, I'm going to save. I'm going to use a path. Okay, and then in this one I'm going to use a thing known as logout, logout, something like this. Okay, and with comma, and then I'm going to use ews views dot log logout request. I have to pass here, but not like this one. So I have to pass log request, request, something like this. So views dot logout dot underscore request. Name I'm going to give, name is, it should be equals to the log out, something like this. Okay, so as you can see here, so views dot logout, so here we are getting some type of error. Now invalid syntax, what is the problem here? Okay, so here I have used all of this stuff, something logout we have, and then I think I should give here the comma. Now I am going to reload. Okay, so still we are getting the errors. I am going to open this. Now invalid syntax, it's saying name logout. Have I done any mistake while doing this one? So now there is, so in the main dot URL, I think I should open this one from the my side. So I'm going to cut this, delete, and then I'm going to save this one. I'm going to close, and here from the my side I'm going to close all of this one. Okay, so from the my side I'm going to use this urls, and then I'm going to use here this one. So with comma here I'm going to paste here. Okay, and I think I have done here the same mistake, like, let's wait a second, control Z. Okay, let's save this one. Now let's open the main only, urls, sorry, where was I, this one. So urls my site it was. Now I think here I am going to save this one, right here itself. Now here we are importing all of this stuff like comma. Okay, so now here also I should use comma, I think. So from Django.urls import we are getting path. So now as you can see here we are doing all of this stuff, but here in the views.py I have to open here. So in the views.py here I have opened, and here I have to create a new. So here we have to define a function known as, I'm going to define def and logout request. Okay, so I'm going to pass this request, and I'm going to create the brackets. I'm going to use here the request, and I'm going to use something like this one. So now I'm going to give logout, and in the brackets I'm going to, sorry, okay, so this is the request that I have to do, logout request, and then messages.info. Now I should get something like request. Okay, so I don't want the equals to, so that's why I have given. Now I am going to give you something like you are now LOGGED logged out successfully, something logged out. You are now logged out successfully. So I'm going to use here something like this one. So as you can see here we are getting something like you are now logged out successfully. So now I'm going to return here the redirect. So return, and then redirect. I am going to redirect, and I want to redirect this one to the main, and then slash, not slash, HOMEPAGE, home page, something like this. Okay, so now are we getting any errors? Control X, and then I am going to remove this space. I am going to paste. Okay, so here the error that you are getting here is something this equals to with this equals to, so I have not seen that one. So now I am going to save this one, and so now if I click on this one, if I are not able to see here, so now where was I? Okay, so here if I click on this logout, as you can see here we are getting something like you are now logged out successfully. So that's because I have done here like, so in the VS Code here they have written a code like if I log out, then I should redirect to the main homepage of our website, and then I should get something like you are now logged out successfully, something like that. So now as you can see on the screen here, when I'm going to make this screen some smaller, so here we have three options like home, register, login. So I'm going to click on this login, and I'm getting this type of error like, so it says that there is no login page. Okay, so first of all I'm going to open the VS Code here, and I'm going to add here another path. Okay, so basically we have right now three paths, so I'm going to add a new path. So I'm going to copy this whole line, and I'm going to paste this one. So here we have, instead of log out, okay, remember I'm going to give a slash log in, I'm going to give. Okay, so now we have log out, so views dot log out we have. So instead of this one I'm going to give here the log in. So request we have, then again log out, instead of log out I'm going to remove this log in. I'm going to paste here something right here. So now right now I have to open the VS Code here, and not VS Code, we have to open the views.py file here, and then I have to add here something like, I have to add here the definitions. I have to define the definitions. So for that I am going to open this VS Code, and here I am going to define a function known as login request. Okay, and then here I am going to pass here the requests. So I am going to pass here the request. And then okay, so remember here we have to import here one thing known as here. So here we have the user from Django.contrib import auth forms. We have user creation forms, right? But here I have to add here another thing known as AU authentication form, something like this. I am going to copy this one, and I am going to create a form and equals to authentication form, and this one. Okay, so it is equals to authentication form, and I say I'm going to return this one, return, and I'm going to render this. Okay, so now we have the request, which is equal, which should be equals to the request itself, request. And then we have the template name, so it should come in the next line. So I'm going to give here the comma and tab. I'm going to make here. Okay, so now we have this template name, so I'm going to not do anything here. So now I'm going to template name, which is equals to the this one, and main. Okay, and then login.html. So here I am going to create a file known as login.html, but before this one I am going to do this, all of this stuff here. Okay guys, so I am going to remove this again, and here I am going to pass here. Okay, right now I am going to use the context. Okay, and context should be something like equals to the form. So I am going to use here the form itself, form. Okay, and if it's equals to semicolon, form form, something like this. But here I have to create a file known as login.html. Okay, so now for that I am going to open this one. Okay, and then I am in the my site. Where is this? So okay, so in the my site and in the main folder here in the templates, and we have again one more thing. So here I am going to copy this register. So I am going to copy this one here, and I am going to paste this one, register again. So I am going to rename this one. So now I am going to rename. So instead of this one I am going to give you something like login.html. So in this one, so everything should be same thing, but in this one nothing should be. So instead of this one I am going to give here the login, register, register, target blank, strong we have, and if you don't don't have an account, then if you don't have an account created, so register. Okay, something like this one. Okay guys, so now I am going to use here the end block. So now we have all of this stuff as it is right now, but here I am going to open the URLs. So everything is working fine. Now I am going to reload, still running. Okay, so now I am going to reload my page. As you can see here, if I click on this login, I am going to get a page something like this. So if you don't have an account created, register instead. Okay, so or let's give something, let's change this one. So if you don't have an account, okay, then register instead. So now I am going to use here these some more things, like I am going to use login. Okay, so anyway guys, we can log in here. So now we can see the login page. Now here we have to handle the posts, but I am going to use here some rubbish things, and here 1 2 3 4 register, but we are getting something like this one only. So now I have to redirect this to the what we say home page, and we have to do all of this stuff. Now I am going to open this 127 slash, I have to give like admin. So now as you can see here, I have to give something like 9 Sayed, and so now I am going to open the users, this one, and here we have this here. Okay guys, now here I am going to open the VS Code, and here in the views.py, here I have to open, sorry, wait, here is this one. Okay, so now in the views.py, okay, remember, so here we have some pass, something like login request, we have done all of this stuff. Okay, but we have this authentication form, we have all of this stuff below this one. Okay, so here I am going to make here some lot of spaces, and here I am going to pass here the requests. So if it's a request, okay, so if the request is dot method, if the request method is double equals to the post. Okay, so if it's not equal, then I am going to use here the form. I am going to fill a form known as, where was FORM form. Okay, and then if the form should be equals to the authentication form, something like this. And in this one I am going to pass here the request equals to request. So I am going to pass here the request equals to request only, and then I am going to give here the data, and data should be equals to the request itself, request dot post. Okay, so guys, we have this one, and then I am going to use here if the form is valid. Okay, if form is going to be valid, then here is valid. So if the form is valid, and then I'm going to use this one, then I should get username, okay, and then it should be equals to form dot cle cleaned data, something like this. So what if you remember, where was I here? Okay, so if you remember here we have used the same thing, like, so form dot, if the form is valid, we have to use here something like form dot clean data. We have to use this messages structures, but here we are going to use the, let's see, are we going to use the messages or not? So it's the same thing that we are going to do here. All of this stuff will be going to be same, but we are going to do something different than this register definition, something like that. So now let's type in that all of the stuff here. So sorry, so now I'm going to go down here. So now I don't want this to be here. So now as you can see here, we have this like form dot clean data, right? But form dot clean data should be something like dot, it should be get, otherwise we are going to get errors later on. So now instead of this one, I'm going to use here the name, username. So now I'm going to use this same thing, but here there will be something different. This line copy and I'm going to paste. So now instead of this username, I'm going to give here the password, 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 and form dot clean data, everything will be same, but this password. So now as you can see here, everything will be same, but these things, so password I have changed here right now. Now I have to use here the user, and then if it's equals to authenticate, okay, so here I should use something like this one, authenticate, and in this authenticate I am going to use your name, okay, then if it's equals to the user name, something like this, and here I have to use the password. So if it's equals to the PASS password, something like this one only. Now I'm going to use here the if statement. So if the user is not, then none. So I'm going to explain this, that what I'm going to do that. So now I'm going to log in this one, login. So if the login, and in the brackets I'm going to use here the request. Okay, so now request comma user I have to do here, and then here beside the login not this one, I'm going to copy this whole things, right? So I'm going to copy this like messages.info, here we have to do. So for that I'm going to scroll up and I'm going to copy this whole line. Where was I? Okay, so I'm going to copy this whole line and I'm going to paste that one here, where it is. Okay, so now I'm going to paste this one below, like, okay, so I have done a mistake here. So here I should do here itself, so I should do this one below the messages.info. So now we have the messages.info request. We have now you're logged in as username, we are getting this one, but I want to redirect to the home page. So I'm going to use here the return, and then I'm going to give here something like redirect, and it should redirect to the main of this page, main, and then I should home page. So as you can see here, we are getting return, redirect, main, home page, something like this. But if you are not logged in or else, so that's why I am going to use here the else statement. So I should get here something like, I should get here the message error that you are invalid username, password, or something like that. So I am not going to copy this. Okay, let's copy this whole line. So I am going to copy and I am going to paste this one. I'm not going to paste this time here itself. Okay, so now I am going to, so now, okay, so now we have the else, then messages dot error. So now we have the request, same thing, but I don't want this stuff to be here, so we don't need all of this. Sorry. Okay, so request we have, then instead of this one I should get here something like invalid username or password, something like this. Okay, then so everything is working fine. But here I am going to add another else, so I am going to remove here. So here we have this else. So as you can see here, we have this username is not none, then this the else is for this one, but I am going to create another else, so that's for this username. So here I am going to type here else, and it should be here something like this, and here I am going to paste this whole line, Control Z. I am going to copy, this whole line, remember, and I am going to paste this one here. So the same thing I have to do here itself. So now I am going to save this one, so I don't want to be here some spaces, something like this one. And now I am going to go here, something like this. Okay, now I am going to run this program, so it's still running. So now I am going to click on this tutorials, and then I am going to click on this logout. Now I am going to click on this login. Now I am going to log in something as hello, and H1234 register. Invalid username or password, it's saying me. So here we are getting some invalid username. I should get here something 27 admin. Now I am going to type here D9 Swayed. Here I am going to log in, and here I am going to see the users. We have this user only. So now we have all of this stuff on our website, but never, I don't want to save this. So now I am going to give here 9 Sayyid, and I am going to use here the 9 Sayyid 1 code for this one, and here instead of I am going to type here something like 1 2 3 4. So here we are getting some type of error like, okay, so now I think I have done here some mistake like messages.error. Everything is working fine, but we have the request. Okay, so now we are getting something like you are now logged in as this one, and we have this messages.info, and I have all of this stuff. Then why are we getting this error? So here we have form.authentication form. I have authenticate invalid username we are getting. So now let's check whether are we getting. So now I should get something like you are now logged in as something like this one, but in the login.html here, instead of this register, I don't want this register to be here, but I want this one. Okay, so instead of this register, I'm going to give here login, something like this, and I'm going to save this. So now messages.info, I have this one. So we have this message success. So now I think I should use here this message success. So like for example, before this one we have used a message success. I think I should use that message success here. Okay guys, so now I am going to, what do you say, so here we have all of this stuff here that we have done, and password we have, and we have the redirect. Then we are getting some errors. Okay, so now let's do this one for the, what we say, Abdul Rahman, and here I am going to give like PYTHON 1 2 3 4, and then sorry, I am going to do this. I am going to load. Okay, so continue. So now it's taking some time here in the VS Code. I am going to open this one. Okay, why did it, I don't stop it, this one. Okay, so now I am going to run this one, reload our page again, continue. Now I am going to use here the Rahman and PYTHON 1 2 3 4. Now I am going to click on this login. I don't know, I am going to get, I'm getting this invalid username or password I'm getting here. So here I've used this one known as else. So here we are getting some message error like messages.info. So anyhow guys, that's all for this video. So here we are getting something like this. So anyhow guys, we are going to solve that in the next video. So guys, that's all for this video. So if you have any questions, please give it in the comments below, and please hit the like and subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and thank you, bye.